Hey guys, Job here. Welcome to a little tease of Resident Evil 2. Tomorrow gameplay will come, but as of now, right now, I kind of had a feeling after beating Leon's campaign and Claire's campaign, I actually kind of beat the game already. I wanted to show you guys the models of the characters in the game and what they look like. I don't know why. I just wanted to have some fun with it. I think it'd be really cool to look at. Live stream of beating Leon's campaign hopefully is coming tomorrow. I have unlocked the Infinite Samurai Edge. Unfortunately, you can't unlock every weapon with infinite ammo. You can only unlock like 2 or 3 guns with infinite ammo, which is gives it that survival horror aspect. Like you can't just breeze through it still, because pistols don't do that much damage. But let me give you my thoughts on this game. I have never played a game so good in my entire life. I kid you not. I know a lot of people are saying that this game is perfect and everything, and it is an amazing game. And yeah, it is so good. It is absolutely amazing, just breathtaking in every way, from the way the camera moves around you, to the way you manage your items, to how you explore environments, and how the puzzles work, and the frickin' dialogue is on point. When characters talk to each other, it's like real life conversations. They stutter, they forget what they want to say. It just, my gosh. I just, I'm so just in awe by this game. I mean, everything about it is perfect. I have not found the one thing to complain about. It literally is just absolutely perfect in every way. If you like Resident Evil, I highly suggest buying it. If you want to start in the Resident Evil series, I think this is an okay place to start. You may feel a little confused at some points, but jeez, oh freaking Pete, Capcom did it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys the models and things that I find interesting about these models and the characters. And spoiler alert, because you'll see things that are from the game, from the end of the game, from the middle of the game, from the beginning, that are spoilers that show things that happen in the plot, and things that are from the plot are these models. So, you know, just be warned, spoilers. You have been warned. We are proceeding right now. So, first model we have here is Leon, which is Leon Scott Kennedy, in his noir outfit. You can get this by pre-ordering the deluxe edition, I believe, and every single model in the game comes with animations, and these animations, every single one that you see, that the animations that you're going to see on all these models are all the animations in the game. They're not just model only animations that they made specifically for when you view models. They're actual animations in the game. And I mean, it's just him in the costume shooting a shotgun. I mean, the shotgun animation is still the same with any costume. It's just showing different weapons with different outfits. So that's animation A. I mean, this outfit is kind of like a take on like the 1960s, 70s, 80s detective vibe, almost like an Al Capone or Leonardo DiCaprio vibe. You get a lot from I get vibes about that. So Leon has his hair slicked back, and you can tell they actually did the slick right, because as you see it parts to the right, and his hair actually falls down over his right eye when it's just his regular hair. So, and then animation B for the Magnum, and again, you get the Magnum with the regular costume. This isn't like costume specific weapons. It's just showing you, you know. So there we have animation B. So Arklay Sheriff, this is another, if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get this, and this is just the Arklay Mountains Sheriff outfit that Leon wears, and we have the rocket launcher animation. It's kind of a classic take on on sheriffs, how they looked in the past and how they actually look today. Very, very similar. And then we have animation B. I don't know why he's shooting like that, but... And I mean... Let me tell you also about this game. The graphics are on point. I said the models do it justice, but not completely because they're not in the environment and you're just seeing them hovering. There's a scene in the beginning of the game where this truck driver is chowing down on a burger, and the close-up of the burger is the way it is rendered is crazy. The graphics are insane in this game, like literally just amazing. Let's move on to the next one. We have Claire in her noir outfit, which is kind of the same as Leon's, and this is Claire Redfield, Chris Redfield's sister. We have the Magnum animation. Again, these are all just outfits you can change. You can change your character's outfits. And then animation B, her giant Bowie knife. So pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I like these outfits. They're kind of like almost like you get detective vibes. These are kind of detective outfits, or crime mystery outfits. Really, really cool. It's okay. So we have Claire military again. Just here's where some minor spoilers come in. You do receive a Gatling gun at the end of the game when you're Claire to fight Birkin and his stage 4 mutation, and there's the animation for the minigun. All these again are animations taken directly from the game. When you play the game, when you use the minigun, this is what you see when you're walking around shooting it. So and then the grenade launcher, which is another weapon you get early on in the game in the police station. So now we have Claire as Elsa Walker, and I believe Elsa Walker was a concept character, or is like a motorcyclist from the early Resident Evil 2 concept art or early Resident Evil 2 advertisements. Like when you go in the police station in the original Resident Evil 2, you see ads in like newspapers about Elsa Walker. I don't exactly know who she is, but she's a motorcycle racer. I think a motocross person. I don't know. And then, oh gosh, don't think this is a laser gun. This is actually this is a taser, sort of like a taser weird gun that you get near the end of the game. Super strong and super fun to use. Very, very fun to use. So now we come to also another really classic character, Ada Wong. She appears in her trenchcoat form when you first encounter her as Leon, and then later she gets into her red dress, her classic red dress, which we will talk about. Animations with characters that don't have weapons, they just move around, animations that they would normally do in game. And then we have animation B, her walking. No, you cannot look up there because it's pitch black. I know, I've tried. So yes, this is Ada in her trench coat, which I believe was taken from concept art from the original Resident Evil 2. A lot of outfits and things are Easter eggs to the original Resident Evil 2. So pretty cool. Her cocktail dress, which is apparently what it's called, homage to Resident Evil 4, and obviously Resident Evil 2, because that's when it was first birthed into the Resident Evil series. Her animation A is just kind of looking around, and this device she has in her hand, and animation B is actually this scanner, which you use walking around the environment to scan electronics, and you can hack into them, and it's really, really cool. Again, detailing on the characters is just absolutely amazing. Like, honestly, the best graphics I've seen to date is in this game. Just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So again, another look at her dress, and she's got her high heels on, her pantyhose on, the lovely over-the-shoulder sling weapon holster, which I just love. So Sherry, this is a character exclusive to Claire's campaign. She doesn't appear at all except in a cutscene in Leon's campaign, but you get to play as Sherry actually, and she has her little walking animation. This is her school uniform outfit, which is really close in resemblance to her Resident Evil 2 original outfit and the, I believe, Dark Side Chronicles look very, very similar, and they did justice to how she looks. It's a huge homage to it. and her, I guess this is sort of peeking or hiding or looking over a shelf animation. So next we have Sherry and Claire's jacket, which is Claire gives Sherry Chris Redfield's jacket, which is the jacket Claire wears, and Claire says it has a lot of luck in the jacket and good things happen when someone wears it. So again, another little animation of her being scared, running away, you know, and she only has one animation. So love the detail of how big the jacket is on her. Still not that big on her, but you know, yeah, she kind of fits. Now Marvin Brana, this is a huge character from the original Resident Evil series. The cop that is bitten, that you talk to, both in this remake and the old Resident Evil, he looks exactly the same as he did in the original. Again, I've never played the original. No, I have played it. What I mean by I haven't played is I've never beaten Resident Evil 2. I did get as far as the helicopter that crashed into the building, but you know, I have never beaten Resident Evil 2, but I have actually played it before. Love the attention to detail on the just love the luster on the badges and the huge blood stain on his shirt, and how pale and ashy he looks. He looks real bad in the game. Just absolutely, he just looks sick because he's bitten. So Catherine Warren, I believe this is Chief Iron's wife or daughter. I believe daughter, I'm not sure, but I don't know. This is a deceased woman you find laying on a table in Chief Iron's little operating room he had in the orphanage, I believe. And there's not much to her. She was laying on a table, no animations because she's dead, but you know, the discoloration of the flesh, almost purple because she's deceased, is Capcom really paid attention to detail with this game. I mean, really. So, male zombie, this is one you actually encounter in the gas station when you play as Leon and Claire. When you enter the gas station at the very beginning of the game, and by far the creepiest, actually, yeah, the creepiest zombie in the game. Well, again, they have all the other zombies too. We can go through that. So there's the walking animation for him. They're all basically the same for all of them. Then we have him, just another zombie. Really creepy looking one right there. Zombies are terrifying in this game. Just that was one on a one you'll encounter on a window. And then a really creepy one you actually encounter in, I believe, the West office in the police station. And then there's more. There's a whole lot of male zombies. Again, just a bunch of zombies. Just a bunch. I think I unlocked them all, actually. And yep, there's Marvin, turned into a zombie. Which is, it's just really sad. Yes, he dies. Again, told you, spoiler alerts. Okay, so that does it for that. Zombie Dog. These appear in, obviously, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, actually, and 5 as well, but they're different dogs. But classic Resident Evil enemy right here. The I forget what their actual name is. They have a name, but again, attention to detail is just magnificent. Now, of course, if you zoom in real far, you can start to see the that's ew. Yeah. you can start to see like the quality doesn't lower, but you can start to see how it like blurs and gets a little pixely because, you know, you're real close up to the model. G Young. These are really freaking creepy. These appear in the later stages of the game, and basically they spawn from G-adults, which are these huge monsters that reside in the sewers, the sewer levels, and they spit out these little babies, which are these. And if you notice, they have freaking mouths on them, like human teeth mouths, it's really creepy. Now again, you can only see in the water like this much, if anything, because they're swimming. You don't really see all this unless they leap out of the water, which they do. Gosh, it's almost like they have eyes right there. Very, very creepy. These are rare, because the G adults, which these G young who spawn from, they're not too common. But there's the animation, and just them swimming through the waters is what they do. One of my favorites, absolutely one of my favorite moments in the game, has to be when the Tyrant chases you throughout the police station, and he does so. A helicopter crashes through a wall in the police station, and you go to investigate it. And it's later in the game, after you get back from the parking garage, when you're playing as Leon or Claire. So you're running up there, and once you put out the fire to the helicopter and you walk into the area where the helicopters crashed through, this guy pushes the helicopter out of the way and starts pursuing you. And let me tell you, while the scariness goes away after a while, because he does chase you very often, I'm always tense when he chases you, because the way he stomps, you can hear the jingle of his belts, and you can hear the jingle of the metal on him, along with the just absolutely heavy thumping footsteps as he chases you down. He never runs. He'll kind of leap at you when he punches you, or when he takes a good swing at you, but he never really sprints. He does pick up speed sometimes. When you get a fair enough distance away, he'll actually start walking a bit faster to catch up. But absolutely terrifying rendition of the Tyrant, and he's just hulking and huge. I mean, like, really, if I could put it into perspective of how big he is, if you're staring at him, he's like there. If you're like a standard 5'10", he's absolutely monstrous. And the thing I like about him too is when he's in his trench coat, like gentleman form here, he doesn't really grunt. You know, he does not grunt at all. He makes no sounds besides his footsteps. He doesn't grunt, he doesn't groan, he doesn't scream, he doesn't roar or anything. He's silent. No vocalizations of any kind. And that makes him all the more terrifying. And you know, his facial expression stays like this the entire time. He doesn't grin, which would be creepy. He doesn't scream, he doesn't show emotion when shot, he doesn't flinch, he doesn't even think he blinks. And originally when I saw the Tyrant footage when he had a hat on, I'm like, what the heck, why does he have a hat? That looks silly. But it's grown on me since, and I love it. I mean, absolutely love it. His clothing is just I just love the belt straps around him on his person. Everywhere you look, there's belts, almost as if they had to find a way to keep the clothing on him, because he's just so big and just moving, just wants to knock it off. You know, he just a hulking figure that chases you through the police station. And it happens, the encounter with the Tyrant, your first time in the police station, he's not there. When you enter the parking garage and then you come back to the police station, that's when he appears, because you have the tools required to put out the fire to the helicopter, which he then pushes into the wall and then pursues you. You encounter him in the second time you enter the police station. The second time you have to search through the police station. Once you come back to it, he's there, and it's just terrifying. Something that a lot of fans weren't really disappointed about, I guess, more so kind of shocked because they changed his appearance, is the Super Tyrant, which is this guy right here, transformed into this guy. And this rendition of the Tyrant, he does screech, he does roar, as you see in one of the animations. There's this walking animation. This happens when you encounter him in the Leon campaign only, and explosions start going off because there's a self-destruct system was activated, and he gets caught up in the explosions, kind of comes out all grotesque and beaten up with this huge right arm claw. And just it's nasty as crap to look at. He's got these huge holes in his back, and his right half of his body's just ripped in half, and creepy. He is terrifying. Animation B is him swinging around, and he is fast. Per example, right here, he kind of does a little screech and then just charges at you. Absolutely fast. Still intimidating. They kind of found a way to I don't know how to explain it. Like, keeping the clothes on was such a nice aesthetic. Like, he's not naked. Like, almost feels like the original Tyrant here chasing you. It's not like he's lost his persona completely. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you got half of his face blown off. Just Capcom did such a good job with this game. And again, all models you see here in the game is what is in the game. You know, these aren't like concept art only models or things. These are things in the game. So G is the G virus, which is actually William Birkin. And he infected himself with the G virus, and he mutates as a result. And this is stage 3 of the mutation, which, oh my gosh, his animation B, this right here, with the angelic music action, the angelic action music playing during this boss fight. He does this, and it's almost like he's like saying, "Come on, I want to fight you." He looks like a dragon, and the freaking design on him is nuts. I mean, it's almost like he has wings with his 2 back, huge, mutated, nasty arms. And the aesthetics of him, it's just so pleasing to look at. You know, he's got like almost like this dragon-like face with these, like if you look at it in the front, like these razors coming out the side of his head that just scoop down the side of his skull, and then he's got this huge back that is really aesthetic to look at, because it just makes him so much more intimidating. And I think you cut off the 2 back arms, and he's not nearly as big, or seeming to be as big. It's all an illusion, and it works. This mutation of William Birkin is insane. And of course, in the boss fight, you shoot the eyes, and then his chest opens up with a bunch of little tiny eyes, which is nasty. You shoot those, and you'll eventually defeat him. So, next model, G Stage 4, which is exclusive to the Claire campaign. You fight him when you are about to leave with Sherry. He jumps down, and you have a little fight with the minigun I was talking about that Claire gets to use. Very fast, but this is a very easy boss fight since you get the minigun. Just shoot all those eyes on his chest. This one is probably a third favorite, maybe, mutation or enemy look, appearance, aesthetic in the game. I mean, you got all these nasty, uneven bone sides protruding from his chest, and all these weird, nasty feet and arms, and these nasty limbs hanging from just bleh. And then you got this huge, like, rib section on his lower torso, and just protruding with nastiness. That's what the virus does. Is just when you mutate, it just goes out of control. It's not orderly. It's not orthodox to anything sane. It's all just crazy and maniacal. So let's see animation B, which is his swiping. He's insanely fast when he does that. And then animation C is his charging, and you see at the end he hits a wall always, and that kind of makes him vulnerable to his eyes for a second. Very fun boss fight. So now on to the knives. We have the combat knife, which they do break in the game. These combat knives are not infinite. You'd never get a sidearm that is infinite or can do infinite damage, which may be a little frustrating at times. It's definitely not a con, but it's a little frustrating at times because you're finding yourself in a boss fight, and all you have to use is ammo. You don't have infinite knives. The knives break, and they get damaged, and there are many combat knives to find throughout the game, which is nice. And then another combat knife. This is Claire's rendition, that big Bowie knife we were talking about earlier. Again, they don't sustain damage. They do sustain damage, but they don't you know, they're not infinite. You don't have it as a permanent sidearm. They do take damage and they do break. Flash grenade, very useful for the Birkin stage 3 boss fight, because he gets blinded, and it works against all enemies. I mean, they all do stop and cover their eyes and are dazed, but especially it's especially useful for the William Birkin stage 3 boss fight, because his eyes are very vulnerable when he's flash banged. So the Matilda, this is such a classic firearm in the Resident Evil series. Besides the Samurai Edge, this is Leon Kennedy's handgun, both in the original Resident Evil 2 and this Resident Evil 2 remake. I think it's also in Resident Evil 6, or a rendition of that firearm, a little different than that one, but does pretty okay amount of damage depending on the difficulty you play. If you play on hardcore, zombies take like 12 headshots to kill, which is insane. There's the animation. I wanted to make sure that nothing else had an animation. Whoop. So that's animation for the Matilda, firing animation, and then when you get the stock and the muzzle upgrade and the extended magazine, that's the animation for that. You get a 3-round burst fire, which is very, very nice. Yeah, just 2 animations. SLS 60, which is Claire's Magnum firearm, one of the main in the game. Very, very fun to use. Something about it's just fun. You get 5 shots in it. Very fun. And then I guess this, maybe an enhanced grip, since that one's kind of like a half weird grip. I don't. Oh, and an extended barrel, obviously. I've never upgraded it in her campaign. I don't know how. I've got to figure out how to do that. Find the parts or whatever. MUP, another gun that I think Claire uses. I didn't even know there was an M19 in the game either, so that's all new. MUP, very, very strong handgun, which I think comes with a laser sight in the game. I'm not sure. But fun gun nonetheless. And then M19, I've actually never seen the animation. It's cool, you can actually see the bullets, and you can shoot it as much as you want. Almost like a Samurai Edge with the grips. Obviously Samurai Edge have wood grips, just looks very similar. Quick Draw Army, which is an exclusive Claire weapon, which I think is only in the, I forget what it's called, but there's Leon's main campaign, Claire's main campaign, and then there are like these two little, not small campaigns, but they're like lesser campaigns for them. They're called like the Second Encounter or something, where you can you play a different ending to the main campaign, which is fun. Then we have Samurai Edge. I actually have a silver Samurai Edge airsoft gun, which is just absolutely awesome. This is just the original model, which I unlocked. Oh, it doesn't have the stars in them. I never noticed that. But we can go into the aesthetics of Samurai Edge, because they do have writing on it. This is the original model, as you see titled down below. The Samurai Edge original model is the infinite handgun that you get if you complete, I believe, Leon's campaign in 3 hours and 30 minutes. No, 3 hours. And Claire's campaign in 3 hours and 30 minutes. Something like that. If you complete the game in standard mode in under like 3 hours or 3 hours and 30 minutes for Leon and Claire. Leon's being 3 hours and Leon and Claire's being 3 hours and 30, I believe you unlock this, which is infinite. It holds 12 rounds, I believe, and you never have to worry about running out of ammo. You can't get the original model with ammo, like with limited amounts of ammo. The original model Samurai Edge, as titled below, is the infinite gun that you unlock as a result of beating standard mode in a certain amount of time. Then we have the Samurai Edge Jill model, which, as you can see, comparing the two, it looks. Let me get a closer look. Her barrel is definitely different at the bottom. Well, maybe the tip of Jill's, the little tip of Jill's gun might be different. She has a chrome barrel, which is more the iconic Samurai Edge look, and we have the It says Stars RPD Special Team on that side, and then Custom Kendo Shop, which is a Raccoon City gun shop. And there's the animation right there for firing. And the threaded barrel on the inside. Then Samurai Edge Chris model, which I like the blue, but at the same time it's really weird. Chris's Samurai Edge model has a blue barrel, and then again it says Stars RPD Special Team. There's the Stars Raccoon City Police Department symbol, and then the Custom Kendo Shop stamp on the other side of the gun with the wood handle aesthetics. Then the Samurai Edge Albert model, which is just a silver body with a silver barrel, and the Stars RPD again, the symbol, the RPD symbol, which is slightly darker, which kind of looks like my symbol on my airsoft gun. There's not a big blue highlight as you see on that symbol right there. It's just more of a dark blue or almost black. Then the W870, which is a Leon exclusive shotgun in his campaign, which does a great deal of damages and great for headshots. And I guess the animation is just him. I guess the animation is just pulling the trigger. Oh, and yeah, there's the pump. You gotta let it play out. You can actually hit X and play it over and over again, like I'm doing. So then I guess, yeah, animation B, you can actually upgrade it to a larger, more aesthetically pleasing shotgun. Almost like an over and under, but it doesn't have the under. The under's closed, so that's just a pump action. Then the GM79, which is a grenade launcher for Claire, and you find this in the RPD as well, does great damage and is great, honestly great for taking out lickers, and it is good for also temporarily stopping the Tyrant as well. And then animation B, this is the upgraded version, which I actually happen to do, and very, 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 very fun to use. You get acid rounds and flame rounds. So onto the MQ-11. This is another exclusive gun to Claire. This is good for knocking down zombies. Say there's a whole horde. If you just kind of burst fire or full auto them in the face, they'll just fall over real easy. And then you have the stock, the silencer, and the extended mag version, which is really cool. Love the animation on the top of it shooting. You know, they really paid attention to detail to this game. Chemical flamethrower, which is another gun you get, and which is exclusively for Leon. Does a pretty good amount of damage, but not nearly as good as Claire's like taser gun that you can get. And animation B, there's some, I believe it's called like a fire compensator or something, that attachment that you see right there that appears. You get that in the nest when you go to the nest, the Umbrella Corporation sort of underground laboratory. You get that attachment for that. Then the Lightning Hawk. This appeared in Resident Evil 5. It is nothing more than a Desert Eagle, and I guess is an homage to Leon's original Magnum in Resident Evil 2 as well. Love the grips on it. Then you can really upgrade it and go crazy with it. You get a sight, longer barrel, rails to add attachments. Really, really cool. Anti-tank rocket. This is what you use to actually kill the Super Tyrant. The one with the claw that I showed you earlier that actually does make sounds, that was the Tyrant but mutated. You use this, shoot him once, and he'll blow up in half. So yeah, that was all the models in the game. Again, guys, highly, highly, highly recommend this game. It was beyond fun, just beyond anything and everything I thought this game was be. It surpassed my expectations, and every single second of the game blew me away. Literally, if you want a good horror game, if you're not even interested in the series, you just want a good horror game, play Resident Evil 2. It is absolutely amazing. Seriously, so good. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later.